Hey, Tony guys here popping in. Nah, it's late, but I was trying to read the comments on the my last video, the Simone Biles and her husband video, and I'm terrible with names, and I really don't pay close attention to the celebrity world and what's going on. Those are videos that y'all send me. And so that's why I didn't even know that the first guy I was describing is her ex. I thought that was just her husband with his hair down. But nonetheless, she's not looks compatible with either of them. And a lot of people, a lot of women don't understand that because women see women differently than men see women. And when I'm describing something, I'm not describing my personal views. And that's what a lot of people confuse. This is not a personal channel. I am a professional. So I am paid for my opinion. And I am a professional coach. So when I'm describing something, I'm not telling you my personal opinion. I'm addressing the world and I'm bringing to you data from nearly 2 decades of studying love and relationships as a professional 7 days a week. So that's what you have to understand. And some people, they say, well, you need to refute that and those societal norms. And that's not my place to try to upend it single-handedly when I need to help you understand it, because I can disagree with it all I want to. It's a lot that I disagree with and that I speak on here daily that's not changing at all. I talk every day to no end to women about saving themselves and not playing the fool. And every day I'm coaching women who are playing the fool and have been watching my videos for years. So understand that we all know right from wrong, but that doesn't change wrong. Wrong is not going anywhere. Lust is not going anywhere. Double standards is not going anywhere. Like none of this is changing. Like the Bible says, there is nothing new under the sun. So you have to get out of that fairy tale and out of that utopian mindset and understand reality and realize that until you accept reality and you learn reality and you learn the game, you will be a victim of it and you will suffer from it. So instead of fighting against what's real, it's best to learn what's real so you can adapt and adjust and you can protect yourself knowing the realities of the world. Get out of your feelings and get into the facts of the situation. And that's what I need you to understand, because the truth is the truth and reality is reality. And so when it comes to looks compatibility, this is something that I explore. Many people understand it. Many people kind of allude to it and talk about it, but this is a concept that I have pretty much coined single-handedly and tried to express. And looks compatibility is not based on just the features and of the two people. So, for example, Simone Biles and her husband could be looks compatible if you are just looking at features. Looks compatibility is also determined by societal beauty constructs. So when you look in history and when you look in society, men have always been able to marry women who are more attractive than the man. That is why you see, especially in the white race, you will see attractive women with, and when I say attractive, I'm talking about societal beauty constructs, not my opinion. It's crazy how I have to explain stuff like I'm talking to a child on some of these videos, and I'm not even smart. And it's not like I'm Albert Einstein on here doing videos. So these videos should not be that hard to understand if you are listening to understand instead of to be offended and to go back and forth. Now, when you look at, let's say, the white race, and what I want you to do tomorrow when you go out, look at 10 white couples. And in a lot of these couples, you're going to see a societal standard attractive woman with an societal standard unattractive man. The reason being is the man gets more points for being able to provide. So that is why you see attractive women with unattractive men. When I say attractive and unattractive men, I'm not talking about me thinking that the man is attractive or attractive, because I cannot judge a man. I am not gay. I do not look at men in that way. I am basing this on societal structures. Please listen and get this through your skull now, for those of y'all that be in the comments with the foolishness. Now, listen to me. And I ain't upset. I'm just being direct with you. Now, you will see the same thing. So when I say the man, I'm about to call Simone Biles' husband Jonathan Majors, because his name is trending right now. So I done learned his name. I ain't know his name before it started trending with his case. But Simone Biles' husband, I don't know his name. It keeps slipping my mind. And I just have to hear the name over and over and over for me to remember it. Like Simone Biles, she's a legend. She a global superstar. So of course I know her name. I don't know her husband name as well, Jonathan Benjamin or Owens. If what you have to understand about this, when I say him and her are not looks compatible, I'm not meaning based on just their features. Like based on just their looks, yeah, they could go together perfectly. But based on society, he can have any woman he wants. Why? Because he is a fit man who is a professional athlete. When have you seen a professional athlete not be able to get any woman they want? When you look at professional athletes, a lot of them have a woman who is several notches above them based on societal beauty constructs. So when I say a couple is not looks compatible, I am also taking into consideration their status in the world. So what I mean by this is he, under societal programming, will not believe that Simone Biles' natural look is beautiful. He has to escape the programming and see her with his own eyes, not through the eyes of society. Then he will see how beautiful she is. Now, he is immature. He showed that in his interview. So that lets me know he is programmed by society. So he won't see the level of her beauty. But what he will see is her fame and notoriety and her money. And what he will know is that her money is longer than his money. But because her look puts his type on a pedestal, he also understands he has leverage. So, on average, with this type of relationship, if he went to her and said, hey, I want to open a 10,000 square foot training facility with turf fields and gym equipment for the community and charge a membership as a gym like Brandon Marshall did in Miami with I Am Athlete, or whatever that's called, Athlete's House, she most likely will look into her investments, look into her bank account, and say, okay, babe, I think that's a great idea. I will invest in it. That is why a man who can have a woman who society says is beautiful, not who Tony Gaskins says is beautiful, a woman that society promotes as beautiful, that he chose not to be with Simone. What does society promote? Okay, society promotes, and y'all who understand this and you got this on the last video, y'all forgive me, but I don't believe in leaving anybody behind. So this is for the people who they just love. You can't listen to the video from your insecurity. And because this reality and because it's the truth, it triggers your insecurity from your childhood trauma. So if you are darker skinned, if your look is, if you are lighter skinned and you were bullied, if you are heavier, if you are thinner, if you, whatever you went through, you can't listen to the video from your trauma. You have to listen to the video for the reality of society. On average, there are exceptions to the rule, but we are not discussing the exceptions to the rule. We're talking about the majority. So, society tells him and all men that this particular woman in this season, see, the media changes with the season. So, the media may say in 1970, this is the look that is attractive for men and women. In year 2000, this is the look that's attractive for men and women. In year 2030, this is the look that's attractive for men and women. So that's what you have to understand. Different looks will have different seasons. And it's based on what the media portrays. That determines what the general consensus believes is attractive and unattractive. So right now, if you look at a lot of men who are choosing their woman now, somebody used LeBron James and Savannah as an example. LeBron did not choose her within the last 5 years. He met her in high school as kids, where you are less programmed by the media at that day and age before social media. LeBron James chose his wife before social media, before mass programming. That's why he was able to see her beauty. And based on looks compatibility, yes, she is notches above him because his features are less promoted and praised, whereas her features may be seen as more symmetrical and more standard, so therefore her features will be more praised. So, based on the media and society, Savannah James is actually out of LeBron James' league. Based on the media and society, Cherie Gaskins is out of Tony Gaskins' league. But because men get points for provision, a man who is seen as a 6 can get a woman who is an 8, 9, or 10. Do you understand what I am saying? This is how looks compatibility works. It's not about just the raw features and looks. It also is determined by economic status, position, title. So therefore, Google Bol, Bol. There's two words. That's the NBA player's name. Google Bol girlfriend, which may be his ex-girlfriend now. You will see his girlfriend looks like a heavy set Kim Kardashian. And you will see that he looks like he has features and a look that has never been in any American movie in a normal role. His feature has only been in movies showing like traditional African culture. So his feature is not Denzel Washington. He does not look like Denzel Washington. He does not look like Morris Chestnut. He does not look like Idris Elba. He has his own unique features. But because the standard lead actor in black media is Denzel, Will Smith, Idris Elba, and the likes, Bol, if those men are deemed attractive and Bol is the opposite, then he will be deemed what? But if you get outside of mass media programming, you can look at Bol and you can see him with your eyes. And you can look at him and say, wow, he is an amazing creation of God. Whether you're a man or a woman, if you look at him through God's lenses, not through propaganda lenses, not through the media's lenses, you can see him for who God made him to be. But where has this young lady gotten her image from? She got it from the magazines, the media, the reality TV has told her an artificial butt, artificial breasts, filler in your lips is beautiful. So she goes and she enhances that look, whether it's real or artificial, I don't know. She enhances that look because Kim Kardashian and the likes made that look popular. Now, when you talk to men, men will tell you that look on average is unattractive. But because it is promoted, it is accepted. But men don't actually like those artificial bodies. No real, authentic, honest man likes a butt job because the butt does not look real. A man may like a tummy tuck or lipo because he doesn't know that it's a tummy tuck or lipo. To him, it's just a flat stomach until he finds out that it's a tummy tuck or lipo or BBL. And then Brazilian butt lift is BBL. And then he discredits her body. So now her body is not hers. She did not earn it. It is artificial and he loses respect for it. But will he sleep with her if he is a man of the world? Absolutely. Will he date her if he has no purpose and he's a man of the world? Absolutely. So this is what we see on social media. And this is why women think that this is acceptable and this is beautiful. And this is why so many women are going under the knife to get this body, because they see men with no purpose, with no direction, but with fame or notoriety or money, dating these women and promoting these women. So then it tells other women, your body is unattractive and this artificial body is attractive. Get a body like this and you will get a man who has millions of dollars, who will buy you a Range Rover, a Bentayga, a G-Wagon, and Chanel bags and Birkin bags, and you can cry in your Rolls Royce when he curses you out or puts hands on you, as long as you have artificial everything. So women, go get that. This is societal programming. This is what plays into looks compatibility. So women want a man who look powerful, who looks strong, who looks like he's secure. Athletes represent all of those things, even though they may not be those things. They represent it. That is why you see athletes who look like someone stepped on their face have a woman who looks like God hand chiseled her. And you say to yourself, how did this creature get this creation? It's because of his ability to provide. Those particular women care more about financial security than anything else. Is that every woman? Obviously not. That is common sense. So when I tell you that because this man has these features, or he has this stature and this status, he can have any woman he wants. And then a woman who has been overlooked by society comes and says he's barely decent, he can't have any woman he wants. That woman is in denial because she doesn't know the reality of his world and how he is being treated by women on a daily basis. That is what shapes his mentality, that makes him think he is the prize. When it comes to notoriety and money, Simone Biles' husband knows that she is the prize, but he is in denial because he is insecure and his ego is hurting. So he says he is the prize. But technically, based on societal standards, he would be the prize if it was just based on those features and those attributes, meaning him being a pro athlete, because we see unattractive, societally standard, unattractive pro athletes with societal standard, beautiful women. So therefore, if he is half decent, okay looking, if men who are deemed unattractive can get women who are deemed beautiful, then he can also do that. Now, Simone may be beautiful to some people, but her look is not being promoted and praised in this season. So therefore, you have to get beyond what media is showing you and see her for her beauty. But if you just go on what media shows you, it will be a woman who is 5'3" to 5'9", not 4'11". It will be a woman with long, voluminous hair, not a woman with shorter hair. It will be a woman who may look racially ambiguous or some other kind of look, not just not a black woman or not a white woman. What you have to realize is that white women who used to be the standard in the movies and all of that back in the day are now even out of style because now the racially ambiguous look is being promoted. When you look at the commercials, that's why you see they're showing so many interracial couples in commercials, because those interracial couples produce a racially ambiguous means you cannot tell exactly what race the person is. That is what they have shown the picture. That's why they have that picture of the lighter complected boy with brown freckles, green eyes, and long brown curly hair. And it says, this will be the average look of the human in 2050. Why? Because of self-hate. Because whites are suffering from white guilt and feeling unattractive and unworthy. That's why so many white women are getting the lips that come natural to a lot of black women. That's why so many white women are going to get very tan. They're going to the tanning bed to get a darker color because they are being told that you are pale, that you have paper cuts for lips, and that you are unattractive. They are being told that men want a woman with a booty, and that's why white women are focusing more on squats and lunges and the Stairmaster when 20 years ago, it was unattractive for a white woman to have any form to her butt. She had to have a very flat butt. Listen to what I'm telling you about societal standards. This dictates looks compatibility. These are not my beliefs. I am not condoning it. These are observations of the reality of the world. So, black women are being told that you are not worthy unless you are this complexion or you have this body type. So therefore, there's a sector of black people and white people and these other races too that are feeling unworthy, unattractive, unappreciated. So they are going outside of their race to a race that they feel is worthy or attractive, and they are mating and having children, and the children are coming out biracial, also racially ambiguous. And that is why they say that in 2050, the average human will look like that picture I described. Google it. Go Google. What will the average human look like in 2050? And you're probably going to see, and then click on images, and you're probably going to see the image I'm talking about. So this is what I'm trying to help you to understand. I, Tony Gaskins, am not saying that Simone Biles is unattractive. I am not saying that her husband is attractive. I am saying based on societal standards and what is available to a man and what is available to a woman based on their looks, their features, their status is different. Because truthfully, a man who is a man, Simone Biles' husband is not a man. He is what I call a grown boy. To a grown boy, money and status matters of a woman. To a grown man, money and status does not matter. She can work at the drive-thru of McDonald's. If he finds her attractive, what matters is how he sees her in her looks. And that only matters until he gets to know her, because she could be beautiful, and if she is airheaded and ditzy or annoying, he will be done with her. She could be unattractive based on society standards, but when he gets to know her, if she is amazing, he will marry her. That is why when I talk about this, people point out that there are women who they don't feel are attractive who are married and happy. Why? Because the man got beyond societal programming and he got to know her for who she is. And he fell in love with the fact that she is not vain, she is not conceited, she is not arrogant, she is humble, she is loving, she is caring, she is kind, she is fun, she is funny. And he realizes that that matters most, because looks untimely fades. This is what you have to understand. So on average in our world, looks compatibility determines relationships. And then the only time that it does not play a factor is when humans get beyond societal programming and they could see a person for who they are. That is why you will see looks of individuals that are not praised and promoted in the media be married and happy. That is also why you will see looks that are praised and promoted in the media be single and miserable. Because you can look like what the media portrays, but if you are an arrogant jerk, when you meet somebody, they will realize that and they will leave you. So you could be as attractive as you want to be and be single as a dollar bill because you have not developed as a person. You could be deemed unattractive by the media, by the world, and be and end up married and happy with children because you developed as a person. And when you met the person for you, y'all hit it off. So please understand that looks compatibility, although it is my terminology and I explain it and break it down in a way that no other coach or therapist dives into, this is not my personal belief. This is my observation of the world. And there are several layers to this. And what you have to understand when I'm shooting a video, I do not touch on every single layer because I do this from the top of my dome. So you sit down and do a video for 30 plus minutes with no teleprompter and no note cards and tell me how much you leave out, and do the video without using filler words like like, right, you know, and then tell me how concisely you can convey your thoughts. So before you get in my comments trying to nitpick and point out stuff and operate from your trauma, understand how I'm explaining this and that I'm not going to cover every single base because this is a free video, not a paid class or training. And this is also based on societal studies, which varies and has exceptions to the rules. I am not coming on here as a black man and saying that dark-skinned black people are unattractive in my opinion. I have a client who is as dark as I have ever seen, and she is beautiful, and she is a world-renowned model. So I am beyond the programming. But majority of the men who are dating today, because they don't do the work that I do, they may be under the programming and not even realize it. So you can be a beneficiary of the programming, or you can be a victim of the programming. But you have to understand looks compatibility and the programming in order to get beyond it. Because if you understand it, when you meet someone who treats you a certain way and you realize that they are under the programming, now, whether it be good treatment or bad treatment, you don't take it personal because you know where they are operating from and you know what lenses they are viewing you through. That is why I take the time to explain this so that you have a better understanding of the overall general consensus, the mass media programming. These are not my views. So when you say, oh, Tony, you are perpetuating, I am not perpetuating, I am explaining it so that when you are mistreated or when you are overtreated, you can understand that this may be a result of this person being programmed by society and the media. And that's why they are treating you, good or bad, that way. And then when you realize if they are or they aren't, now you can assess the situation. So I did not write the rules. I just report the rules for your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that you can better protect yourself and also better understand the person or the people that you are dealing with. This is the purpose of this. So please get out of your feelings and get into the facts. And then you can take and start to dismantle the misconceptions and the propaganda one person at a time. But what you also have to understand is that Satan is roaming the earth. So evil will always exist. Ignorance will always exist. Prejudice will always exist. Bias will always exist. So you cannot dismantle or disrupt or completely upend these things by being angry in the comments. Your knowledge, which is then applied, will be your power. So get out of your feelings and understand the reality of the world so that you can better adjust and adapt. Personal example. Because I understand looks compatibility, if a woman who looks like a supermodel is attracted to me and she does not know me, and I know that her type has never been attracted to me without knowing me, but she's able to Google my net worth, and although it is wrong, she sees that Google has me listed as a man that's worth $3 million, that I did not know that until my sister told me about 10 years ago. If she sees that and she saw me as single, or if I was single, and her type has never liked me, because I understand societal programming, because I understand there are women who care more about financial security, now I can assess the situation with that knowledge. And so instead of me automatically thinking her attraction to me is genuine, I can look deeper into the situation and see if this is genuine or if she has ulterior motives because of my financial position in the world. That is why I explain looks compatibility, because most people do not understand it. And that is why you see countless women who are portrayed in the media as less attractive or unattractive with men who may be seen as more attractive, and the man has no job and the woman makes near or six figures. She did not understand looks compatibility. So she thought that this man that she feels is gorgeous or super handsome or very attractive, who is also broke and lazy, she thought he was naturally attracted to her, not realizing that he is under the programming as a grown, lazy boy. He is under the programming of society. So therefore, he does not think she's attractive. But what he thinks is attractive is her job and her benefits and her 401k and her cash savings in the money market. But because she did not get this lesson, she gets with this man who is not genuinely and authentically attracted to her, and she loses it all because he robs her blind, or vice versa. That's why it is important to understand looks compatibility. And that is how Simone was finessed by her husband. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Simone, for bringing this up. I'm not saying that you are unattractive. I'm not saying that he is attractive. But what I'm saying is there are far more options available to him as a man that men who are in his position choose every single day when the woman does not have the money and the accolades that Simone Biles has. So Simone's options are increased because of her accomplishments, her fame, her talent, and her money. I am not saying she's unattractive. What I'm saying is her look is not the look that is in season and being praised and promoted at this time. So grown boys like her husband do not choose her look unless there are ulterior motives. So go down and Google NFL players and their wives and look at all of the NFL players who have chosen a woman, a new woman that they did not know in college or in high school. They have chosen a new woman since they have been in the NFL, and see how many black men have chosen a woman with Simone Biles' stature and features. I am not saying she is unattractive. What I'm saying is her look is not praised and promoted, meaning she is out of season. Her look may be the look that becomes the standard of beauty in 20, 30, 20, 35, or it may never happen. But as of now, that's not the look. When you look at the men who are her husband's age, who are professional athletes or men of means or status or position, title, or power, look at what they are choosing. And that is how you see that is something in the water, because he is not a good person, because we saw that. Meaning, when I say he's not a good person, I don't mean that he's a terrible guy, he's a bad guy. But what I'm saying is He's not the type of person that operates from a space of humility to choose a woman who for who she really is. He chooses a woman based off of ulterior motives. He also is a man who got on a dating app when there is no need for a man to get on a dating app. Only womanizers, creeps, players, and degenerates get on dating apps as men. And I'm sorry if I know you personally and you got on a dating app. Listen, you was being a creep. Men should not be getting on dating apps. Neither should women. That is desperate. That is desperation, or it's greed, and you just want an easy layup. And he happened to find a slam dunk in Simone Biles, and he realized that yes, although he could go get this woman with a bigger booty, he could get a woman with whatever else other feature that he may have wanted, because he said he really wasn't into her like that much in the beginning till they met and they clicked and hit it off or whatever. So he said, I will most likely not meet a woman who's gonna have generational wealth, international worldwide fame, and the accolades that this woman has. This woman is going to be able to ensure that I am forever rich, because when my NFL career, raggedy career, is over, and some of y'all say he was undrafted, that is a raggedy career. Even though he could play 15 years, it got to come to an end. But when you have a woman who is like Simone Biles, she could have a Nike deal for life. She could have commercials for life. She gonna be connected to the presidents and people. She's gonna be a UN ambassador. She gonna be lighting the torch in the Olympics in 16, 20 years. She's going to forever be relevant. We don't even know his name. He will have to become something in the NFL or after the NFL to be relevant on a scale even remotely close to Simone Biles. So therefore, when he processed that, he said, I could cheat with the big booty. I could cheat with the racially ambiguous. I could cheat with the long, voluminous hair that touched the booty. I could cheat with the this and the that, the Instagram thoughts. But I have to marry this money and this legacy. And he did not marry her for pure reasons, because if he did, he would have never told that story he told on that podcast. Ever. It does not line up. You don't have a pure, genuine heart and then make your wife look like that in front of millions of people. So this is what y'all need to understand about looks compatibility. If you do not understand what I'm talking about, listen to this 2 more times and stay out my comments with your insecurities and your trauma. I'm not calling you ugly because you dark skinned. I'm not calling you ugly because you have big lips. I'm not calling you ugly because you have a big nose. I'm telling you that your look is not praised and promoted. I got big lips. I got a big nose. I ain't got no hairline. This hairspray. My look is not praised and promoted. I have to accept the reality. I'm 5'10". There's no woman that put 5'10" on her list. I have to accept the reality. What I'm trying to tell you is accept reality so that you know when you meet somebody if they real or if this is ulterior motives. It's different if you meet somebody in a group and they get to hear your mindset. They get to know your personality and they don't shoot they shot at you right off the bat, But y'all building and y'all getting to know each other. So now, even if you don't fall within societal beauty constructs as attractive, you know this person got to know you for who you are. And now you know this can be real and not ulterior motives. But if you have something that is of benefit to this person who is not typically someone who is attracted to you, but because of your connections or your title or your job or your money or your family, you have to proceed with caution, because this may be an ulterior motive setup, like what it appears to be with Simone Biles' husband, Benjamin Owens, or Jason Owens, which is what it appears. And forgive me if I'm saying the name wrong, but to me, he will forever be, until he become a Pro Bowler and Hall of Famer, he will be Simone Biles' husband. Even Serena Williams' husband, even though he was said to be a billionaire in the tech, you is Serena Williams' husband. When you next to that level of goatness, just don't even get out your ego and stop worrying about having a name. You Simone Biles' husband. You Serena Williams' husband. Point blank period. Just get out your ego and accept the reality of what it is. And don't take it out on that woman for being great, because you did not reach that level of greatness. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, that I'm not condoning societal constructs. I am explaining it. I am not excusing it. I am explaining it. I wish that I could single-handedly change it, but I know that I don't have that type of power, because this stuff has always existed in the world, and it will always exist because of balance. It will never be everybody sees things the same way. There will always be opposing sides and contradictions, left and right, up and down. There will always be that. The faster you accept the reality of the world, then that will help you move strategically and wisely. Not to say that you can't, that's not to say that you can't be an exception to the rule, but you have to have knowledge of the rule in order to become an exception to the rule in an authentic and organic, realistic way. Otherwise, you will be a victim to the rule, because you did not take the time to learn the rule, because it upset your insecurities or it offended you, when you have no power over it one way or the other. Until you dictate the media, you do not get to decide the messaging and the propaganda that is pushed upon the people. So you have to learn it so you can protect yourself as you moving forward. Hey, this Tony Gaskins, God bless you. Get your head right. I got a video touching on that TD Jake situation. It'll go up sometime Saturday, Lord willing. But this needed to go up for the people that are confused and trying to call me racist or perpetuating the cycle. And then I'm like, oh, well, you believe it because look at your wife. My fiance before my wife was my color. I wanted a woman who was my color or darker, because my girlfriend before my fiance, before my wife, was white. And she was only my girlfriend because she had a car and a savings account, and I was a broke college student. Again, ulterior motives. She also was nowhere near me looks compatible wise, but she had money and she had a car, and she let me get some on the first night. So after her pursuing me over and over and over, I just dealt with her because I didn't have other options at this all white college that I played football at. When I started cheating on her, she cheated on me. She slept with 5 other black men on the college campus. 4 of them were my teammates on the football team. One of them was a basketball player. When that happened, I wanted to get as far from a white woman as I possibly could. I looked on that campus for the darkest woman I could find. I only wanted to deal with a black woman for the rest of my life. And I met a woman who was my color. Just so happened, this woman, although being my color, was Indian, meaning like Native American, black, and white, but was my color. She was a Muslim. She also would smoke a little weed, would get drunk, and would pop a pill. That was too wild for me. We were together 2 years. When I met my wife, I looked at her and said, she looked like a Puerto Rican. And I ain't touched me now, Puerto Rican. I was 21 years old. I know it's called Puerto Rican. My grandmother's from Selma, Alabama. She pronounced it Puerto Rican, so I pronounce it Puerto Rican. My wife, I thought she was a Puerto Rican. We sat down and we talked, and I was talking to her for a one-night stand. When we talked for 6 hours on our first sit-down conversation, I realized she was my wife. This was not my preference, a woman of her complexion. So for all of y'all idiots that be talking about, oh, your wife light skin, so you part of the problem. I didn't choose her for her complexion. I chose her for her character. So shut up and talk what you know and keep my wife's name out your mouth. We don't speak on queens. I don't care if she were purple. Don't speak on my wife. And anybody who speak on my wife, every last person who have spoke on her, done been blocked. And if you're a man, I'ma knock your teeth down your throat. And if you a woman, I'ma hire me a woman to slap you across your head. Shut your mouth and don't speak on my wife ever in your life. And just so you know, I met my wife in 2005. So I did not choose my wife in this climate of colorism where racially ambiguous women are being promoted to every man with money. I met my wife in 2005, 18 years ago, and she did not meet my preferences because she did not have the booty that I preferred. She did not have the complexion that I preferred, but I chose her character and she was beautiful. So I say she still is attractive. Although she don't have everything that I, as a grown boy at the time, would prefer, she got character, and I had enough sense to know that character mean more than those other little things. And that's how I chose my wife. I did not go around saying I need a light-skinned woman because light-skinned women are attractive or light-skinned women look better than darker skinned women. So shut your mouth. And just so you know, If I did do that, I still wouldn't be wrong for it because my mama is lighter than my wife. Idiot. So shut your mouth and talk what you know. This Tony Gaskin, God bless you.